Rain patters down on an injured man resting his head on the hilt of his blade, surrounded by the corpses of fallen soldiers. He looks out across the war-torn battlefield with a somber look, however is soon disrupted by a sudden voice saying, "To think there was such a strong human." The man looks down. "You are still alive," he says with a bitter expression. Beneath the injured man lies the large body of a divine-like being. This being is named the Giant Ahayut, after he showed himself in the Empire 20 days ago. He wreaked havoc for unknown reasons. He was the last of the 3 giants. The man digs his feet into the face of the defeated giant. "Because of you, half of the Empire became a cemetery. But why are you still alive?" The giant then responds, "Don't worry, since I won't be for much longer. Ahayut will soon return to his side." "That's good," says the man, "since your 2 friends, who died before you, will be waiting. One became a fried giant because of a hot-tempered red dragon, and the other one was sealed for eternity by an old man called Lorhan. Do you get it?" The giant retorts, "Don't cover up the truth with superficial words, strong one. The children of the star share their senses with one another. We know that their opponents have been annihilated along with them, and it means that strong people like you no longer exist here." "Ha, I'm still alive, so what the hell are you talking about?" The giant responds, "Don't get ahead of yourself. I know that your time is reaching its end. I'm quite glad. If you had realized your skills earlier and put your all into training, you would have become a large obstacle for our long-cherished wish. You're a great human. It's all right to be proud. But, in the end, your world will soon be engulfed by the starlight and disappear." The human, raising his blade, and proceeds to behead the giant one fell swoop. He then reminisces about the past, in which he had great fun with his friends. These friends, now, lie in a bloody pile before his very eyes. "What kind of pride made you fight until you died? Did you think you all were strong because I was? You should have read the room and ran away, till the end. So foolish. Just why? On the giants, who could deflect the Empire's strongest sword aura. Why was my sword the only one that worked? If it weren't for that, there would be no way a disciplinary soldier would stand in the front lines, and you guys would have died first." Suddenly a familiar voice enters the man's ear, begging for help, as they can't move because of their injuries. The man hobbles towards the voice, and is met with the sight of the Grand Commander, Adishan. He is shocked and filled with excitement. However, her arm has been severed from her body, and she isn't in the greatest condition. She asks whether the giant is dead, and the man informs her that he killed the giant. By the way, this man is named Ronan. The information of the giant's death brings a tear of relief that trickled down her cheek. Ronan then says, "If you're that grateful, would you listen to my request? The cleanup of the disciplinary soldiers. Usually, as per the regulations, they're abandoned or burned, but could you treat them well this time?" The commander chuckles, stating that Ronan is better shape than her, so he should be the one to bury the soldiers. However, Ronan suddenly coughs up blood into his hand. "See, I could die any second. I was fooling around most days, so I couldn't do much, so it feels unfair that I am going to die." The commander queries as to what Ronan would like to do if he survives. He smiles and responds, "I have a lot of things I want to do, but the only thing I can think of right now. What would it be like to go out to the academy? My late sister's wish was to send me to the academy, but soon I'll be reunited with my family." The commander assures him that the search party will come once the rain stops. Suddenly the rain abruptly stops, and the ground begins to violently shake. The clouds open up, only to reveal an 8-winged figure that shares the features of the giant from before. Surrounding this frightening figure is an army of 4-winged giants. The commander thinks to herself, "No way. The 3 giants weren't the end of it. In the end, I couldn't save the world a third time. With only one last chance left, I can't think of a way." She is suddenly brought back from inside her head by the shouts of Ronan. "Commander, what are you doing? Get a hold of yourself. Hurry up and use telekinesis or anything to shoot me upwards." The commander is taken aback as to how Ronan is still so determined to fight, considering the overwhelming odds that are certainly not in their favor. "You're going to fight? In this situation? Of course. What, you want to just sit still and kick the bucket? Even if I die, shouldn't I give them hell first?" He unsheathes his blade for the last time. The commander thinks to herself, "He's not giving up in this situation. Yeah, he's such a man. That's why we were able to get to this stage. If it's him, She gets up and places her hand on his shoulder and locks lips with him. Due to this kiss, she was able to transfer a glowing blue marble into Ronan's mouth. She then whispers something in his ear that we, the reader, are not shown. She looks up at Ronan as utters the words, "Corporal Ronan, if we meet again, can you tell me to not do anything stupid and become a tailor? I've done a lot of things, but nothing quite like that." The eight-winged giant materializes a powerful ball of condensed power in his hand and shoots it at the injured Ronan and Commander. We then see a young Ronan opens his eyes in shock. He then sits up confused as to where he is. Impossible. This place. Could it be my hometown? Ninbutan. Did I really return to the past? Ronan sits beneath a tree. He then thinks back to the words that the commander had whispered in his ear after she had the blue ball into his mouth. What you just swallowed was an orb that turns back time. That's how I, who was once a tailor, was able to climb to the position of Grand Commander. Although the orb allows you to regress a total of 4 times, I've already used it 3 times. So there's only 1 chance left. So I'm handing it over to you. The power to say giants. I believe that you are the key to stopping this world's destruction. So you need to sharpen your ability. I'm glad you also have the desire to as well. If you want to learn, go to Philian Academy. Ronan in his frustration, bangs his head repeatedly into a tree. If it's a dream, please wake up. While running in order to reunite with his sister who had died in his last life, Ronan notices a group of kids bullying a child who they've hung upside down from a tree. Just after Ronan decides to not get involved and walk away, he sees that the boy isn't being held upside down by a rope, but with magic. A person as valuable as that was a rare sight on the battlefield. There's no way there's one in a countryside town. The culprit as to who is using the magic is a young boy who is being forced to hold the victim upside down by the group of bullies who are trying to get the boy to give up his money, which is intended for his mother's treatment. Due to this, he once more refuses the bully's demands. The main bully orders the young magician to lift him to the top of the tree with his magic. I can't do that. If I put him higher and slip by mistake. Shut up and lift him up, Azel, before you end up hanging with him. Abruptly the events unfolding are brought to a halt as Ronan hits the young magician on the head, which causes the boy to fall and land safely. The bully is outraged and shouts at Azel, however is interrupted by Ronan, who says, "Azel, stop worrying about trash like him and talk with me. Now I have something to talk to you about. Where did you learn telekinesis magic?" He responds that he had learnt it from a grimoire that he had bought from a peddler. Ronan is shocked as to how good he is at magic, even though it's such a cheap grimoire. The main bully disrupts Ronan's train of thought by unsheathing his blade. "You dare ignore me. It seems you're acting up since I purposefully lost to you back in the day, but today I'll correct this manners," shouts the bully as he charges forward. He swings, however Ronan evades the attack with ease. "Although my body is younger, this is still the same. What was instilled in me when I was a disciplinary soldier. Battle sense." The bully shrugs of the evasion as mere luck. "Since it's come to this, get on your knees and beg. Then I'll spare your life. Of course you'll be leaving without one arm. And if I kill you, I'll make sure I treat your sister well." This statement hits a nerve in Ronan, causing him to expertly cut off the bully's ear with a mere stick, dropping him to the floor instantly. Ronan looks down at the bully writhing in agony. "You punk. Do you want to die?" The veins are practically bursting from an uncontrollable rage. The rest of the bullies stand by in shock, wondering as to how Ronan could cut off an ear with a blunt stick. Ronan directs his attention to them. "Hey you punks, enjoying the show? Get out of here together with this idiot if you don't want to end up like him. And leave behind the money you stole, of course, as well as the cost for ruining my mood." Ronan gives the bully's victim his money back, alongside the extra he had received from them in exchange from ruining his mood. Suddenly the young magician walks forward and apologizes. "I knew I shouldn't have done something like that, even if Hans threatened me, but I was so scared. It's all my fault. I'm really sorry." The boy assures Azel that he was a victim just as much as himself, then departs, leaving Azel and Ronan alone. Ronan peers down and tells us, the audience, that Azel is actually a girl, not a boy. He then sets up a meeting to carry on the discussion he was planning on having with Azel in 4 days' time in that very spot. He himself then departs and darts home to meet his sister. He is carrying a bouquet of flowers. and before he can throw them away out of embarrassment, his sister opens the front door. During my time as a disciplinary soldier, I thought to myself thousands of times, what do I say to her when I see her again? Should I say sorry for having left without a word? Should I tell her that I missed her? I thought about it so often, but that was all things that only Ronan the disciplinary soldier could say. All I can say right now is, I'm back. Oh my, I never thought I'd live to see the day when I'd receive flowers from my cold brother. Ronan's sister is named IRL. Ronan asks her how old she is this year, and she tells him that she's 22, and then queries as to why he's asking. Ronan tells her he simply forgot. He then thinks to himself, if she's 22 then there are about 10 years left until the giants invade. As I thought, my sister is just as I remember her to be. She's still bright and kind and warm. She makes me wish that this moment would last forever. But in about 10 years, in order to protect this world and my sister, he then tell his sister, as thinking of entering the academy. Really? Says an overjoyed IRL. Say that again. You mean it, right. I knew this day would come. You're so smart, so I'm sure you'll excel in anything. So this is a surprise gift for you. She digs out from a pile of belongings a cauldron filled to the brim with money. I was saving in secret to surprise you. If you ever changed your mind about the academy, I wanted to be able to afford it right away. Ronan in disbelief responds, you're so amazing. When did you get all this? Though, I appreciate it. This much won't do. This is more than it looks like. I don't know which academy you want to go to, but Ronan cuts her off. The Imperial School, Filion Academy. Irel's jaw hits the floor in shock. Imperial School, Filion Academy, the Empire's best leading educational institution. With the continent's most outstanding professors, combined with the Imperial family's great funding, this is a place that gives the finest education. Prestigious enough to be Kaeldar factory of heroes, this place's status is high. Grand Commander Adishan, Swordmaster Shurlifen, the worst criminal, the Winter Witch, and more. The guys from Filion were quite useful during the war. So useful that I can understand why the Grand Commander mentioned it to me. Well, with such high entrance standards and insane fees, it being famous is also an issue. But to think that was her reaction. He thinks back to his sister responding with an encouraging smile and reassuring words, after he had told her that's where he wanted to go. Ronan then turns up to the agreed meeting spot and meets up with Azel. He says to Azel, tonight we'll be very busy, and there's something I want to test you on. Use telekinesis on me, Azel. Lift me as high as you can. What? Why would I do such a dangerous thing? It's not that dangerous. First, just do as I say. I won't die from it, so don't be scared. Azel gives spin. Okay then, I'll start. He raises his hands and lifts Ronan 30 ft of the ground. Would you look at that? It's a lot better than I thought. Although it's still lacking in height and stability, this feeling is similar to back then. During the battle with a Hayut, what allowed me to fight on equal footing with that giant was telekinesis. Telekinesis is a rare ability among mages who are rare to being with. That means he's going to become the most important thing needed to defeat a Hayut. Ronan smirks. This start is pretty good. Ronan, it's getting difficult for me. Can you come down now? Hold it a little longer. I have one more thing I want to check. I'll come down right now. Azel is confused as to how he'll do it if he's still being held by his telekinesis. Ronan raises his blade and cuts right through the mana with ease and lands on the ground effortlessly. Ronan, what did you just do? It's nothing. Just an acrobatic movement that I've been able to do for a long time now. What do you mean an acrobatic movement? It's my first time seeing someone cut through mana. Ronan hits him on the top of the head to shut him up. Just let it go, since I don't know why that's happening either. Finding out what this ability is one page of homework that was given to me to do. The reason why my sword worked on him Anyways, you passed the test, Azel. Hold this and follow me. Before the moon disappears, there's something we need to do. This might become the first page of Ronan's biography, the greatest history book. Filian Academy. Ha! I heard it wrong, right, Ronan? We're going to the Filian Academy, where only the Empire's elite are, you and I. You heard it correctly, so why are you asking me? It's annoying. Why do you don't want to? Queries Ronan. No, that's not the issue. You have talents in martial arts, so it's okay. But I don't know how to do anything. And I'm cowardly and timid. Ronan cuts Azel off. Hey Azel. Do you want to continue living like that? With your innate talent, you're wasting it by humoring punks. Is that really the life you want? Honestly, you have such idiotic sides to yourself. You become a crybaby and cry from anything, and you're a loser that's scared of. But that's fine, because you can change form now on. But the time that passes now can't be changed, and one day you'll regret it. Like how I did in my past life. I won't force you to, since it's your life. So you can go back if you want to. Well, I'm busy, so. Wait, Ronan. I want to change too. I'll go to Filian with you. So teach me what I need to do. Ronan smirks. Alright, this is the first time you've been manly, Azel. So the first hurdle for the great manly Azel. Shall we start? Ronan, so that's my first hurdle. Yeah, of course, the best opponent I found in order to bring out your skill. It's a lunar goblin. It's the leader, as well. What do you think, Azel? Isn't it great? Now then, shall we get started? Lunar goblin. A type of goblin that commonly appears in this area. Most people differentiate them from normal goblins by their yellow skin and disfigured bodies. But the true unique trait of lunar goblins is that they go crazy over gold and other treasures. They like to ambush merchants to steal treasure. They gather all the stolen goods in one area and hold a festival on a night with a full moon, just like today. Azel realizes something. Then the reason we're here is… Ronan cuts him off. Yes, we're gonna steal all that treasure today. All you need to do is use your telekinesis to move all the treasure into this bag while those guys are sleeping. Azel begins to stress, worried that he may wake up the goblins accidentally. Listen up. In order to head into Filian, we need two things right away. First is money. We need to afford their insane institution fee. Second is real experience. Money is an issue, but this is more important. As you know, Filian is full of aristocrats who received elite training from birth. You want to win against those guys. There's only one way to sow that, Azel. It's to gain experience by risking your life. This'll be killing two birds with one stone. Azel moves all the gold and jewels into Ronan's bags. She's better than I thought. I found a really good minion. Let's go before anything goes wrong. We then see two men chasing after a winged silhouette. Stop right there. Ronan can hear the two shouting. What? What kind of psychos are causing all that ruckus in the middle of the night? The noises from the two men awaken the resting goblins who, once awoken, are met with the sight of all their treasure chests having been ransacked. They notice Ronan and Azel standing behind a bush off in the distance, causing them to charge in their direction. What do we do, Ronan? Should we throw the bags and run? Ronan cuts her off. No way. How are you gonna pay for tuition without this? Are you gonna earn it somehow? Ronan unsheathes his blade. A long sword made from cheap steel. With this weight and hardness, it'll withstand maybe 15 attacks. There are about 30 of them. 15 attacks. That'll be enough. In one fell swoop, Ronan beheads 3 goblins with ease. 14 swings left. Ronan has pierced the last remaining goblin in the head to finish of the kill. Azel is stun-locked. Impossible. What did I just see? He beheaded 3 goblins in one strike head-on. And for the goblin mob that came rushing after, Ronan just disappeared for a little and appeared again, all in an instant. To think he made such a spectacle. Ronan stands alone, having left a trail of goblin corpses in his wake. What are you doing? Are you going to continue spacing out like that? Hurry up and get your things. We're going home. As the two are walking home, an arrow emerges from the darkness, directed straight at Azel's head. Ronan catches it with his bare hands. The two people who had initially caused the ruckus, which awoke the goblins, emerge from the tree line. Huh, what? It's a person. Children at that too. I'm sorry, kids. Something was rustling in the distance. So I thought it was a monster. The man's eyes are locked onto the gold glistening from within Ronan's bag. Gosh, we almost killed a person. Are you hurt anywhere? Ronan cuts him off. Nonsense. You can't even hide the look in your eyes. Stop with your trashy acting, and answer properly. Who are you? One of the men slowly approached Ronan, with a fake smile on his face. It slipped my mind, so I didn't introduce myself properly. Sorry, my bad. We're. He reaches behind his back. Calibero. He pulls out a knife and strikes at Ronan, who grabs the man's arm, which is holding the knife, and effortlessly uppercuts the man, which sends him to the ground instantly. The accomplice rushes forwards with a knife in hand. However, before he can reach Ronan, he is stopped by Azel's magic. Ronan grabs the blade from the incapacitated man and cuts him into pieces with his own weapon.